Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a new lecture in your course Advanced JavaScript Programming from Avionics. My name is Ahmed. In this section we are discussing basic JavaScript concepts, and we have been studying since the last two lectures the primitive data types in JavaScript. We have had a look at numbers and strings. Now let's start discussing Booleans. Booleans can hold true or false values. They are just true or false. There are no other possible values for a Boolean value. It's either true or false. And they are used in mainly in logical operations. Like, for example, when you want to say that this variable is not true, okay? So you can have some of the logical operators that return a true or false, like, for example, the exclamation mark for not, and not negates the value of a variable assigned to it. So for example, let's say I have b equals true. So b here holds the value of true. And remember not to enclose the true or false values of a Boolean variable in quotes. They are just typed like this, true or false. I can place an exclamation mark before b, and this will negate the value of b. b now is false. Okay, so if I said a is equal to exclamation mark b or not b, this means that a is false. We also have the and produces true if both of its operands are true. The and operator has two operands, so I can say here, since I have a as false and b as true, I can type something like this, a and b. Okay, it's false, so if I said c equals a and b, C is false. But if I use the OR operator, I will have, for example, D equals A or B. It's true. So what's the difference? The difference is that in order for the AND operator to yield a true variable or a true value, it has to have both of the operands having the value of true. Both A and B have to be true in order for the AND operator to produce a true value. If at least one of them is false, the whole value that is returned will be false. The opposite of this operator is the OR. The OR will produce true if at least one of the operators is true. So here, because I have A as false and b as true, so one of the operands is true, so the whole operation yielded true. But consider this, b is false. Now both of the operands are false. If I said d equals a or b, because both of them are false, of course I have d equals false. Maybe these examples are not that intuitive at this stage, but when we go to the if conditions and the loops where some condition is evaluated, you will see how Booleans come into power. And keep in mind that each and every variable in JavaScript has a Boolean variable. This sometimes may come very handy. Each variable has a Boolean variable. So for example, if I have, for example, something like a number equals 100, okay? Now, what if I want to find the Boolean value of this variable? Since I have the not operator, this is a unary operator, which means that it has only one operand. I can add two not or two exclamation marks in order to get the variable to its original Boolean value. What does that mean is that since if I have, for example, a equals true, okay, so if I negate a, it will give me false. But if I double negate a, it will give me true again, because the negation of the negation cancels each other. So negate the negation will give me true. It's false, false, which will give me true. So as a rule of thumb, the double negation will get me the original Boolean value of a variable. So here I have num equals 100. I want to know the Boolean value of this variable, so I'll just use my expression, exclamation mark, or not, num. Num is true. Why? Because it has 100. Okay, and why is 100 true? Because anything that has a number in JavaScript is true except 0. So if the number is 0, Now, if I use my double negation mechanism in order to get the Boolean value of this variable, if I typed not num, it is false. Num, when it is 0, it is false. And also when it is null, it is false. And also when it is undefined, it is false. Okay, but anything other than these is true, even negative values. Even negative values will yield true. Only if it is undefined, null, or 0 will it yield false. This sometimes comes in handy when you have code that needs to be shortened. So for example, when you have a variable and you want to test whether or not this variable is having a 0 value, you can just type an if condition. We're going to study if in a moment. And you say, for example, if num, then do something. Okay, and since num is having a value of non-zero, this condition will execute. But if it is 0, this means that this condition will not be executed. So sometimes this may come in as a way to shorten your scripts. Just understand that anything that is not empty, not null, not undefined, not 0, or not nan is true in JavaScript. Now, the power of Booleans, as we said, comes in handy when we combine it with comparison and equality operators. We have seen already the negation, the and the or operands. Let's see the equality operands. We have already seen the negation and the and or operators. Let's now see the comparison and equality operators. When you want to see whether or not two variables have the same value, you use this sign, double equals. So for example, if I have a equals 1, 2, 3 and b equals 1, 2, 3 as well, if I say, okay, whether a equals b or not, it is true. This is a Boolean value of this operation. If a equals b, then get me true. I can say if it is not equal to b, okay, it granted me false because both of the variables are equal in value. So the equal sign, the double equal here, will compare the value of the variables and will get me the Boolean result of this comparison. The opposite of it is not equal to. However, what if I said that a is equal to 1, 2, 3 in this manner? This is a string, and b is the same. It is 1, 2, 3, but without quotes. Now, if I try to equate both variables, it will also give me true, because as we said, whenever JavaScript sees two numbers, one of them is represented as a string and the other is represented as a number, it will try to make the conversion in favor of the numbers in most cases, except in the concatenation case, as we previously mentioned. It will try to convert the string into a number and do the operation. So in this case, it converted 1, 2, 3, although inside quotes, although it is regarded as a string, it converted it into a number and tried to equate it with the literal number 1, 2, 3, and of course they are true. But what if you are in a situation where you want to equate both variables in value as well as in type? Let's say a is 1, 2, 3 and b is 1, 2, 3, but a is a string. If you want to make sure, let's type of a is a string and b is a number. If I want to equate both variables, both in terms of value and in terms of type, I can use this special type of operator, the triple equal. Triple equal here is returning false. Why? Because a is a string and b is a number. Even if both values are the same, because the data type is different, this operation will be false. If I try to fix this and converted b to be another string, so both now a and b are strings and both of them are having the same value, now and only now this operation will be true. A is equal to b in the sense that it is equal in variable, in value, and in data type. Both are strings and both hold the string 1, 2, and 3. The opposite of this operator is the not followed by a double equal. So it is this symbol, an exclamation mark followed by double equal. So a not equal to b in value and in type. This is false because both of them are equal in value and in data type. And of course, we have the plain old logical operators, the greater than and the smaller than, the greater than or equal, or the small than or equal, and they are self-explanatory. Just for the sake of demonstration, A is greater than B, of course, this is false. A is less than B, of course, this is also false because both of them are equal. If I said A is greater than or equal to B, that's true because here I am using the equal sign, so it is greater than or equal. Yes, it is equal, so this operation will yield true. Let's start our discussion of arrays in the next lecture, so stay tuned.